Hi, fourth grade. We are on page 37, The Catfish. This is a poem by Oliver Herford from the book of humorous verse. Okay, so I'm not going to read this, but it's about someone who doesn't know what a catfish is, and they imagine that it's a creature that is actually half cat and half fish, which is silly, but that's what they think it is. And they talk about, it's a sad cat, and compare it to a feline tantalus. We're going to do the close reader habit. How does the poet describe the catfish? Reread the poem, underline the words and phrases that explain how he imagines a catfish to look. So we're looking for how does it think he looks. All right. So the feline catfish, first thing that I see is that it's sad. So he imagines that the catfish is sad. So it looks sad. All right. What else does it say about how it looks? I vision him half feline, half fishy. So underline that too. Oh yeah, underline sad, and then underline, I vision him half feline, half fishy. Vision, I imagine him. I see him in my mind as half feline, half fishy. But what's feline mean? Well, do you see the little one next to feline? That means that down here it tells you what feline is, and it says feline means cat-like. So half feline, half fishy, half cat-like, half fishy. Okay? That tells us how they think the catfish looks. And then there's one other thing, line 12. A thing of fur and fins. Cat fur, fish fins. So, furry and finny. All right, so underline those three things, and that tells us how they imagine the catfish to look. And we can already move on to page 38. Okay. In the poem, one word has the definition. Get out of here, Papa. To cry out in sadness or pain. Underline the word that best fits the definition of the following lines from Catfish. So which word in here says one word? So you underline one word. One word means to cry out in sadness or pain. So it's probably going to focus on sadness because we know the catfish was sad. They already talked about that in the poem. So to cry out in sadness, what word in here means to cry out in sadness? The saddest fish that swims. So to cry out is an action. So we're looking for an action. The saddest fish that swims. Does swim mean to cry out? No. The briny ocean. The catfish I bewail. What does that word mean? I don't know. I cannot even think without. Does think mean to cry out in sadness? No. Without emotion of his distressful tale. So the word bewail, you see the word wail in it. Have you ever heard someone say, what are you wailing for? It's like yelling. So that's kind of like crying out, wailing. My baby was wailing for his bottle. It's not like the fish whale. That's funny. Bewail. It's not a word we use a lot. But let's see if it works. The saddest fish that swims the briny ocean, the catfish cries out in sadness. That makes sense because it's sad, right? I cannot even think without emotion of his distressful tale. All right, so you're going to underline bewail. Number 2, read the lines from the poem. I vision him half feline, half fishy, a paradox of twins, unmixable as vitriol and vichy. So it defined vitriol and vichy up here. An acid in an old word for mineral water. They're dangerous to mix. So vitriol and vichy talks about dangerous to mix. I vision him half feline, half fishy. So we're trying to figure out what's the meaning of paradox. A paradox of twins. So when I think of twins, I think of two, but is it two? No, it's one animal, but it has two different parts. And Vitrol and Vichy is talking about these parts being dangerous. So let's look for something like that. Okay? Oh, what is the meaning of paradox? Oh, I already read that. A creature with parts that don't seem to go together. So does a cat and a fish, are they supposed to be connected? No. So that makes sense. It doesn't really say dangerous, but let's see what else we can find. A furry fish with a brother that looks like him. They don't talk anything about a brother. A scaly cat that is confused and spins around. I don't know about this spinning. I mean, it doesn't say anything about that around here. Half feline, half fishy, so it's got two parts that don't go together. A make-believe animal that has two different heads. Does it have two heads? No. So our answer is a creature with parts that don't seem to go together. A feline part, a fishy part, a paradox of twins. Okay, cool. Let's keep going. Reread lines 13 and 14. Tantalus is a criminal in a Greek myth. So if we go back up to lines 13 and 14, so 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, okay. A feline Tantalus forever chasing his fishy self to rend. A feline Tantalus. So Tantalus is capitalized. That tells me that Tantalus is a name of a person or a book or something like that. Did I seriously just skip to the end? Hold your horses. Just hold your horses. Okay. What are we doing? Okay. A Tantalus, so now it's telling us what it is. A Tantalus is a criminal in a Greek myth. He is punished by keeping delicious food and drink forever out of his reach. So a Tantalus is a criminal in a Greek myth, punished by keeping delicious food out of his reach. Why does the poet describe the catfish as a feline Tantalus? Now, I think we know the feline part because it's half cat. Feline is cat-like. But why Tantalus? So how can we compare Tantalus to this catfish? Is it a criminal? Does the poem talk about it being a criminal? No. Does it talk about it being Greek? No. Is food kept out of its reach? Use the chart on page. Okay, so now we are ready to do the chart. That just gave us some important information, so don't skip stuff, y'all. Okay? Use the chart below to organize your ideas. Okay, unknown word, feline Tantalus. Please spell it correctly. It's in the text. Feline Tantalus. Pause this and write that down. Context in poem. So what do we put there? What word do we see in context? Text. So we look at the text and we write down where that word came from. Context in poem. It already told us which lines it is. A feline Tantalus forever chasing his fishy self to rend. This is what you'll put in context, because this is what is in the text. Okay? Pause this, put this down. You see that good? Whatever, you can see it on your packet. Put this down under context. Pause this, write that down. Spell stuff right. You can do it. Okay? And... Alright, again, I don't know why I keep putting the possible meanings before the clues. That's really confusing to me. So, what clues? I think we need to, the clue I was giving you guys is what a cats like to eat, and that's easy. Cats like to eat cat food. I'm just kidding. Cats like to eat fish. So if it's half cat and half fish, it's gonna want to eat itself, but it can't, because first of all, it would die, but second of all, it can't catch itself. So our clue in that context is he's chasing himself. He's chasing himself. Because cats eat fish. So put that. Just put he's chasing himself as your clue. He's chasing himself. So what's the meaning of a feline tantalus? It's a part cat creature that can't reach its food. Right? Because a tantalus, let's go back to the Greek myth. A criminal, he is punished by keeping delicious food and drink forever out of his reach. So that's the connection. A creature, a cat-like creature, because that's what feline means. A cat-like creature that can't reach its food. Okay? That's our meaning. Cat-like creature that can't reach its food. Pause this and put that. If you already have something like that, that's fine. Or you can just add on. If you put something wrong, just cross it out and put that. And I hope you understand now. So, short response. Oh, do we want to do that today? I guess we're only at 12 minutes. We might as well, since it's fresh in our head. Here we go. Short response. Use details from the poem and your discussion to explain why the poet calls the catfish a feline tantalus. So we already have all our information. We know why the poet calls the catfish a feline tantalus. So let's rephrase it. The poet calls the catfish a feline tantalus because, so that's our rephrase. If you rephrased it a little differently, but it makes sense, it's fine. The poet calls the catfish a feline tantalus because, all right, so I hope you paused it and wrote that down. What's our answer? Why does the poet call the catfish a feline tantalus? Well, because it's a cat-like creature that can't reach its food. Okay, that's the rest of that answer. But we're not done after that. It's a cat-like creature who can't reach its food, period. And give me a capital at the beginning of the sentence. Capitalize tantalus, because that's a name. All right, pause this, finish that sentence. It's a cat-like creature that can't reach its food. But so we restated it, answered. We need to cite. Okay, so we'll say lines, what was it? Lines 13 and 14 say, he's forever chasing his fishy self to rend. Okay, so that's citing it. Lines 13 and 14 say he's forever chasing his fishy self to rend. I just quoted the poem so you can copy it down from the poem. And we cited it. We said line 13 and 14 say, comma, he's forever chasing his fishy self to rend. Not comma. Well, yeah, comma. But put the forever chasing his fishy self to rend in quotation marks because we're quoting the poem. Does that make sense? We got to put them in quotation marks because we're quoting the poem. line 13 and 14 say, comma, quotation mark, he's forever chasing his fishy self to rend. And period, and then end quotation mark. Good job. So now we rephrased, answered, cite, and now we need to explain. The connection, so we said it's called a tantalus because it can't reach its food. Why can't it reach its food? We need to put cats like to eat fish, and it is half fish. I think that's a pretty good explanation, honestly. Cats like to eat fish, but it is half fish, so it can't eat itself. Put that. Cats like to eat fish, but it is half fish. It can't eat itself. Okay? Give me capitals, give me periods. And I think that's pretty good. If you want to add something about the Tantalus Greek myth, you can. The Tantalus is a Greek myth about a thief that can't reach its food. That would also be a good thing to add. But that's pretty good. I think we're good for today. So pause that, get that all down, and make sure you send me pictures of your work so that I can count you as have done it, count that you did it. All right, I'll see you tomorrow.